Hi, welcome. My name is Daniela DeCastro. I'm a psychic medium, and we're going to have a great discussion tonight of creating your own destiny. My apologies, but I felt more moved to have this discussion with Jamie as opposed to answering our questions. We'll go live next week with the Q&A, and no one signed up. So this way, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity to have this discussion that I think can benefit a lot of people. If you want a reading next week, sign up in advance. So this way we can get through the queue. So creating your own destiny. Jamie and I were on a conversation yesterday, like we were on a phone call, and I was really moved with the discussion, something I believe in, but I thought it was a wonderful opportunity. Um, well, Jamie, why don't you take it away and discuss what happened yesterday?
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, well, it's a conversation with my son actually. I've got a young son; he's 14 years old, and you know, like I worry about him at the moment, and I'm checking in with him, making sure he's okay because, you know, the world's been pretty crazy for the last few years, and you look since 2020, the world has changed, and it will never be the same again. I mean, look what we've gone through. I mean, here in the UK, it's a bigger issue maybe than in the United States, but we had like Brexit and we had a pandemic, and now we've got a war, right? That is, escalating every day, every hour. So, it's difficult times. I never went through that when I was a child. None of us did. You didn't. I mean, we didn't go through those like global significant events, like this. I mean, forest fires, everything. I mean, everything's crazy. Everything's crazy. So, what about like our sons and daughters, right? Like they are born into this, and it's pretty crazy for them, isn't it? I mean, we didn't go through it, right? And I often think, what's my son make of all of this, and he's a deep thinking person. He's aware, he's not oblivious to it. And so I have to sort of check in and make sure that he's not getting overwhelmed with it all, right? And so we were having a conversation about it, and I was trying to explain to him that, really, no matter what's going on in the world, we need to just kind of transcend these world events, because sometimes they are, um, sometimes they're random, sometimes they're orchestrated, and there's a grand plan or whatever. Yeah, so we just need to transcend it, I think, and we need to focus on what we want out of our lives, and we need to pursue happiness and chase our dream. That's what we need to do, and that's what I was trying to get him to understand, is that focus on the pursuit of happiness and chasing your dream, and then like put your energy into that, where you're where the focus goes, the energy flows, right? And yeah, so like, okay, so I was giving him examples of like in my life. So the economy, right? A lot of people, they take from the media, the state of the economy, and then immediately go in a downward spiral as a result of the news of the economy. It manifests as a reality in their lives. So now they don't have enough money, they're living in lack, right? um, because they literally become a part of that. Yeah. Now, yeah, you're gonna say something, Daniela. Go ahead.
The plugging into that reality or that truth. Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if you see it on the news, oh, like I just saw something I thought was funny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
One of the news agencies, I guess that's maybe more conservative or something, but they were
Mm-hmm.
saying to the spokesperson, like it wasn't the president speaking, but the press secretary, and they said, "You the president's been saying for months and months, like pretty much from the beginning, gas prices are going to go up. Gas prices are going to go up. Like they've been like it's like they're brain. I don't know if you want to call it brainwashing or getting us in line. Like this is what's
Mm-hmm.
going to happen. So when it happens, like you just like you know, or they said the
Mm.
same thing, like we're not going to be able to keep things on the shelves. Like we've been warned about certain things, so you could feed into that in despair. You could be angry
Mm-hmm.
about it, but I mean, it does seem just to me somewhat manipulative because
Yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
talking about this for a long time that it was going to happen. And that's after they made decisions to, like, shut down a pipeline here, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah,
that exasperated it. So Josh is and, like, you're right, like, you guys are right there, so the war, like, your son, like, I can't even imagine what that feels like to have a child and the world to be so unstable, like,
yeah.
and especially with the war, right?
I know. It's no wonder parents are think, well, not parents to be are having second thoughts about bringing children into the world. I mean, I have to admit, I don't know about you. I mean, we're probably done with our like
I am.
bringing children into the. Yeah, you are, and I am too. But like, yeah, certainly, if we were in that place, I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd bring a child into this world. I wait for it to settle down a bit for sure. I wouldn't bring a
Um,
child into this world right now. I mean, those,
Absolutely not.
anyone who's watching who has just had a newborn or who's pregnant, great, make the best of it. Everything will be fine, right? But yeah, you definitely would think about it. You give it some more thought than you would usually.
Yeah, but
So
even when I did have children, like, it took, a lot to get me to do it because I thought the world was messed up then. And,
yeah,
I mean, think about it. I had my son 6 days before 9/11. I was
mm,
hard pressed to have my daughter in '98. Like, I just felt like it wasn't a great place. Like, there was already a lot of changes in the world, and America
yeah,
does seem to be in, combat, like war. Like you're saying, yeah, not compared to what's going on now. Do you know what I mean? That's a global stage, like, a lot of characters involved or whatever, members, where before it was less so, but it's still scary, right? Like to have
yeah.
when your country's always at war.
Every generation, yeah, I agree. Every generation thinks that they're living in hard times, that it's the end times. If you're religious, you say, oh, it's the end times, the end of the world is around the corner. Every generation has been saying that. And just when you think the world can't get any worse, it does. It gets worse. So that's why we've got to transcend it, because you know if we get bogged down in it, we'll definitely be disempowered,
Exactly.
and not want to get out of bed in the morning for sure. Yeah.
So
So I
how does
think
Josh
that's
feel
yes.
about that?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he took note, and I think that he's definitely going to do well in life because I'm trying to ingrain this into him, and yeah. So like I explained that I personally have lived through two quote unquote recessions in my life, right? Because what is a recession anyway? I mean, like, what is it? It um I think it's. I mean, this isn't about recession, so we'll not go down that road. But just quickly, what is a recession? Well, it's really all just kind of made up stuff because money is made up stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's printed on paper. It's promissory notes, not backed by any resource. But now it's evolved from that to digital numbers on a screen, right? And there's more money than there is physical tangible like resources that back it up. It's just all a game. It's just all a game, and it's all made up. And um and anyway, so like at the end of the day, I think that um we need to we need to play the game and do what we need to do. We need to focus, we need to succeed. Like, so I excelled in when COVID happened. And do you know what? I'm not smug about this in any way, shape, or form, because like my heart goes out to people that are struggling financially, and I have struggled financially big time. Yeah, I've been through every phase. I've been in the gasser and I've been doing quite well. I've been in the middle, so my heart goes out to anyone who struggles. But I remember when they were like saying about all this, like hard times, hard times, hard times, hard times, which is what they're just trying to drumming into us all the time.
Mhm.
I decided that I was going to excel, right? And I did. And it doesn't work out for everybody, so don't beat yourself up or go too hard on yourself, but just do your best to don't allow that fear to disempower you and prevent you. you know just like decide for yourself. So I felt that like what in this whole conversation in a McDonald's parking lot, right? Because we were at McDonald's at the time. I was eating my McPlant, and yeah. So um, where was I going with that? Can't remember now.
You were having a
Start
conversation with
thinking.
Josh.
Yeah, I was thinking about McDonald's food. Yeah, we were having. Um, yeah, so I was. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Never mind. It will come back. It will come back. It will come back.
Well, but I like what you were saying, like
Mm-hmm.
where you put your attention, that's where it's going to go. So you were not
Yeah.
feeding into like what the news and others are saying because it's all doom and gloom, and that's not helping anyone. So it's
Mm.
funny because I'm going like even stronger with upstream of like creating my home in a very feng shui style. And it's funny as I'm tweaking and making changes in my home, it is working. Like, you know
Mm.
what I mean? Like all of a sudden it was like a really good day and it's like came out of nowhere. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But even this morning, the red envelope thing that I do, well, it's a new
Mm-hmm.
home. It's my new
Mm-hmm.
home and I realize I have an old envelope in there. So
Mm.
a friend of mine, when I went out to dinner Friday night at her house, I asked for like a Ziploc bag of rice, white rice. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to
Oh
be white
yeah.
rice or whatever. So today I'm like, it's one of the things that I want to do to change the energy. And I took a handful of rice, sealed it in my red envelope, blessed it in many different ways, more so than I think I actually want to do an updated video because I was inspired on praying on it in a different way, like putting energy into it.
Mm-hmm.
When I started doing that, I didn't have those tools. And I'm like, all right, so I'm going to start doing it. So I think I should do that, like, change it to really supercharge the envelope. But I have noticed a shift, like with bookings and stuff like that, with people reaching out. So I do think
Mm.
it's important to take back your power because that's what we're talking about, right? Because
Yeah.
taking back your power, but you have to monitor your thoughts. So
Mm.
if
Oh
you
yeah.
think you're in a recession, if you think you're not going to make money, you're not going to get that promotion or whatever, you're creating that, right? So
Mm.
you put your intention of I'm going to thrive, and you said you perhaps like haven't done better.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've been doing better in the so-called hard times. Yeah. Um, which I'm grateful for and thankful for, and don't take it for granted because so many haven't.
Right.
But yes, I have, for which I'm
A lot of
grateful.
people have like lost their businesses and stuff like restaurants and things like that,
Mm.
because how long were they supposed to be able to last being shut down?
I
So it
know,
has
I
been hard
know.
times on a lot of people, and also people have lost their jobs or chosen, like, "I'm not gonna do that," like, their stances, like, there are many reasons why things have shifted for people, but I wonder, could it be a new opportunity, like another door opening?
That's right. And actually that's what it comes down to because those people that are affected during that time are usually people that are in particular industries that are adversely affected. And by the way, also a lot of these sanctions that are put on Putin in Russia at the moment are not only going to hurt him, but they're going to hurt us too, right? But you know what it
About the
becomes?
oil?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's
Uh-oh.
gone. Well, there we go.
Your
Here I am.
screen just went
Yeah,
crazy.
I ascended, but I'm back. Anyway,
You just raised up, communed with the
yeah,
tide, and came back.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's funny. Yeah, so I think what it boils down to is adaptability as well. Do you think? You
I
know?
highly, highly agree, adaptability. People,
Yeah.
don't like to get out of their comfort zones. They know what they know. They're familiar with it.
Hmm.
And honestly, some
Mm,
people don't even like their job. Some do, but it's familiar and they don't wanna stretch themselves and try new
mm,
things. I mean, honestly, when I met you, I think you told me things that other people had told me in the past to do, but it's just that you have a way with me to make me comfortable and, like, relaxed, and,
yeah.
I really had to push myself out of I mean, you must recognize that I didn't wanna do a lot of things,
Oh,
right? Remember,
yeah.
I didn't wanna do the
Hmm.
YouTube channel, I didn't wanna write, like and yet I ended up enjoying it,
Mm, hmm.
and it was
Yeah.
a good
Yeah. You
venture
did.
for me.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
that's right.
when you switch
That's right.
gears, it can be magical, but I do think living from your passion, like I know one person, from what I understand in the family, lost their job because they refused to get the vaccine. And
Mhm.
the person's a firefighter, but
Mhm.
he's an amazing carpenter. And I
Yeah.
wonder, like, because what he would do is, firefighters, I guess, work 48 hours and you're offered this money. And a lot of times they have a second career. So I wonder,
Mhm.
like, it's just something because they had a recent baby and stuff like that. So it wasn't great timing. But I wonder if that person is supposed to, like, maybe go into that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
then
that's
you're
right.
working with yourself. Like, yeah, you're working with
Mm.
people, but if you know what I mean? If it's a special occasion where it's your child's birthday or something and you wanna spend time with your family, you can. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? When you work for yourself, yeah, you work harder a lot of times, no doubt, in a way,
Mm.
right? To build it and
Yeah.
everything, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you also have flexibility.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. One of my favorite sayings is that if you don't chase your dream, someone will employ you to um, to chase theirs. You know,
That
so
is the God's
it's
honest truth.
it is, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, definitely we need to do that for sure. If we if we can, it's not for everyone. I know someone, and I remember having this conversation, and I said, "Hey, why don't you pursue your own business or have a go at becoming self-employed and go down that route?" He wasn't interested. He liked being employed. He liked the monotony of 9 to 5. So there are people that do, you know. But I
I
would
think
say a lot
it's
of us,
comfort.
yeah, it's a comfort. Hmm.
Mm. Um,
Yeah,
but you
me
were gonna
too.
say something you were gonna say a lot of people what?
Oh, a lot of that was it.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, a lot of people they don't want to chase their dream, but what I feel like adaptability. So basically, whatever the world events, and because there are a lot of them lately. I mean, every hour there's something new happening, right? And like there's it's all fear, right? It's all
I
I
was
call
just
it
gonna
fear
say.
porn.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I call it fear porn, right? So it's like you know we we can be like tossed to and fro like the wind, right? Or we can adapt and just live our lives. Like I know this is controversial to say because I get a lot of you know kind of negativity for this, but I don't vote. And I know I've never voted, and people are like, "What the hell?" Like you can't complain if you don't vote. Because people get very passionate about voting, don't they?
Mhm.
But let me explain why. I want to like just have a moment to explain why I don't, because it ties into our conversation. Like, okay, so to me, it doesn't. Mm, I know, I know it's controversial. It doesn't matter to me who's in power because, like, I feel that it's all rigged anyway. I know it's a bit of conspiracy theorist kind of talk, but I do believe that everything is planned and orchestrated. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, I'll admit. You know, not too extreme, but somewhat of one. But you know what? Like at the end of the day, like I don't really like any sort of world leaders. I'm waiting for a really good one. Yeah, there might be one day, but they're all kind of like corrupt in their own ways or whatever. But anyway, whatever. Yeah, because like the way I see it is, I'm living for me. I'm living in my own little bubble. I've created my reality. I decide how I want my life to be, and so I'm pursuing that and focused on that. And whatever, if some politician comes in and brings out some kind of a thing that affects my life that I didn't vote for or whatever because I'm not voting, then I don't really mind because I'll adapt. I'll adapt my life. And that's what I was explaining to my son the other day when we were talking. As I was saying, like just focus on on you, and I know we've had this conversation before, and I think you agreed with me as well. Is that it is like it's unselfish to be selfish, and to be successful is an unselfish act because when you're successful, you're more resourceful, and therefore you're more of use to people. It's like this. Let's say you're walking down the road. I actually use this example with my son. You're walking down the road, you come upon a homeless person, right? Well, let's say that you're struggling for your next meal, and you're like scrimping and scraping and struggling and not doing very well, right?
Mhm.
You can't be of any help. You can say, oh, hey, sorry, I haven't got any spare change, and you're going to walk on, right? um, but what if you made it your business to become successful and to be prosperous, be abundant, right? Now suddenly, like, whoever crosses your path who is in need, you can help. So your success is an unselfish act, not just for complete strangers, but for your family too. And so, how do you become successful? I believe it comes from first becoming selfish. You have to be somewhat selfish in order to be successful, right? I've always said that it should be the proportion of, you know, fifth, like 51%. You should be 51% self-centered and really kind of, really focused on the self, and 49% in service to others, right? Because like that's almost half and half, but you're just a little bit more for yourself, right? Do you agree?
I do agree, but I feel like teasing you.
Do you? Oh yeah. Okay. Go on, tease me live in front of the world. Go on.
Just
No, it's
because
okay.
I know you're very much of service.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, because I'm in a service industry in my
I
business.
know, but I mean, you're doing very well in business, but don't you
Hmm.
believe there should be yes, I do believe it should be we come first, and I didn't always believe that. So,
Yeah. Oh
um,
yes. Oh yes. Yeah. No, I see what you mean. I definitely have to like make improvements in my life to take better self care, but like I do like I have my own business, so I am putting my efforts into my business to become successful, so that I can be that way. Um, but yeah, it seems like I'm always serving others or whatever. But yeah, I am actually trying to build my business in that way. But I know, because you know me well, and you know that I like deprive myself of
you
things. I
work
know.
very hard. I mean,
Yeah,
and
I know.
that's wonderful, but we do need balance because I think when we have balance, we're happier, right? We're
Hmm.
healthier, and I think that makes me if I am better in balance, right, when I go for my walks, when I'm eating properly, drinking my elixir daily, right? Like I
Yeah.
just feel more motivated. Like you've seen that lately, I'm taking better care of myself. And what have I done? Not in a business sense, but I'm changing my space. I'm more motivated.
Hmm.
I'm up here, sharper and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I feel more positive, like because I'm making my surroundings very beautiful and growing all the plants and everything like that. It's just, and like I said, I'm decorating in a very feng shui to create that abundance, to create more beauty and love in my life. And I just feel really optimistic about it. I am
Definitely.
not focusing on what's wrong with the world because, as Dr. Wayne Dyer said, like, really, if that's what you focus on, that's the world. You know what I mean? Like, I there's more than one way, like, perception. So if I'm going to be so stuck in everything that is so wrong in our lives and in our world, that's I'm gonna be stuck in there and just this place sucks. So I don't know, like one thing after another, it snowballs. But if I instead take my power back, like I'm the manifester, so I'm going to choose what I want to focus on, and I personally choose to focus on the beauty of individuals. Like I told you, I was a bit put out today with someone, and instead,
Hmm.
hello,
Hmm.
Imelda, how are you?
Yeah. Hi, Amanda. Hello.
So,
Hmm.
I meditated. I went outside to meditate because it took me like I was for 2 hours cooking and still pissed off.
Hmm. Hmm.
Once I went outside to meditate in my beautiful balcony, I felt it. I feel like a divine download. And I opened my eyes and I sent you a picture. It was exquisite the way the sun was hitting the trees in different areas.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
really just lifted me up. And I'm like, I shifted my awareness because all day it's been beautiful outside and I didn't really see it. I needed to
Mm.
shift inside to see the beauty that was outside. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So
Oh
we really
yeah.
do have to be responsible for our thoughts. And me knowing all this stuff, I still was
Hmm.
like, I can't shake this. I can't shake. I'm pissed off, and I really had to stop what I was doing and go meditate, clean up my
Mm.
energy because I didn't want to go
Mm.
on tonight with you and be like so yucky energy, you know,
Mm. Mm. Yeah, yeah,
because it's
exactly.
hard,
Mm.
right? Because that's what I'd be sharing with people, like yucky energy. So
Yeah, that's right.
we have to become aware of the thoughts because it's like a ticker tape parade, right? At the bottom of the screen, and we have to choose our thoughts. We could acknowledge them, like, yep, there's war happening now. Yep, gas is 4.39 here. Yep, inflation. But what can you do about it? One of the things you and I have also talked about, like, yeah, okay, so this stuff is happening, and I'm gonna do it. My house is a little crazy, but I brought in all the plants and stuff like that. Um, like I'm growing my own vegetables and stuff like that because things are getting out of hand. And I had to bring it in last night because it was freezing. So let me just detach this.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
instead of crying, like, how are you going to feed your family? Can we see this?
Hmm.
So
Oh
I'm going
yeah.
to try to do
Wow.
this. I
Wow.
was very sad that I broke my tomato plant.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
did. Can you see the stuff on the table? Because I can't see.
Yeah, I can.
So what can you
Yeah.
do, right? People,
Mm.
and I know people are making money like in various ways, different, unconventional, right? Like with
Hmm.
Bitcoin and things like that. It's like finding a different way, right? Finding a
Hmm.
different way through the forest.
That's true. That's true.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's a
hurt
good analogy.
to
Hmm.
like feng shui chips, like tips. Anything that I think it doesn't matter. If you think putting a band-aid on your toe will make you money, if that's your belief, like you're kind of attracting that to you. I know I'm
Mm.
just making a silly example, but it's you got to believe in it.
Mm. That's right.
Yes, I like that point, Imelda. That I like that
Mm.
very much. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's truth, I
But
guess, will find
yeah, it is. Yeah. No, I like it too. But hey, Daniela, like you mentioned earlier that you were sitting on your porch and meditating to like um, to in some way to how did you phrase it? Remind me how you phrase it. You're meditating to
I
rid
was trying to
yourself of that
shift my
energy,
energy because it
shift
was
your
so
energy.
toxic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But for the benefit of those watching, like, you maybe you want to explain like how you go about that in your meditation.
Um, there's a couple of ways. Like I'm thinking from the very beginning. Even though I was
Hmm.
on my terrace, so that would be a fairly new location for me, right? New chair and
Hmm.
everything because it was a gift. I have a
Hmm.
green meditation chair in my office that I work in, right? It's a
Hmm.
lazy boy. That one I slip in like that because I've done it for years, sat in that chair, so it's almost like automatic. You just go up.
Yeah, it's like a
That's
trigger. Hmm.
so yeah, it's just a repeated pattern. So
Mm.
now in a new location, when I sit there, I could have my eyes open or closed. And
Hmm.
for me, I try to also, at least a part of my brain, focus on my breathing. That's very, very important to get that breath of life in your body because I'm a shallow breather and it's something that I'm really
Hmm.
working on. And it
Hmm.
really does nourish the body.
Mm.
Hello, how are you? So that's one of the
Hey,
things,
Jeremy.
the breath in, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So you want to bring it
Yeah.
into all levels. So the other
Hmm.
thing for me, I just start saying these prayers, these mantras in my head,
Mm.
and it's almost like it keeps my mind busy. And you can pick whatever it is. Some people
Hmm.
breathe and go like out, I am that I am, that I am on the in breath. It could be anything, Jamie, but what you're
Hmm.
comfortable with. Some people
Mm.
put in earbuds and listen to what is it by what do you call those beats?
Beats.
When you put it by lateral beats or something, something it does it with your brain.
Oh, okay. Lateral beads, like physical beads. Not
Well,
sure.
it's stuff that I've gotten from Mind Valley, but there's a lot, with 528 hertz and stuff like that. Hello, Pipsa, love you too.
Oh,
So,
Pipsa.
yep.
Okay.
Well,
I was looking at the name and I was thinking, I'm
well,
not sure how
that's
to
her
pronounce that.
nickname. I'm not really
Oh,
sure.
okay. Oh, okay.
She goes by
Yeah. Hello
Pipsa.
to you.
She's
Yeah.
lovely. Um,
Yeah.
so by me, they say quieting the monkey brain, whatever way you want to say it. So when I say my mantras, because I've been saying it for years, I slip
Hmm.
in. Sometimes it's a lighter meditation, but when I know, like when I feel as stinky as I felt today, I needed something more. So I had to shut my eyes for a little bit and
Hmm.
just, it's gonna sound odd, but I asked for, like, not even mentally because I've been doing it so long, but I feel
Hmm.
this honey light coming through me. Just this energy starting from my crown and going through my body, and it
Hmm.
relaxes you like you wouldn't believe. Like, it just soaks into my body, and it was after that, like, soaking in the divine, when I opened my eyes and started looking at the forest and going, "Oh my gosh," it's like it was so magical, and it had
Hmm.
been there all day, and I couldn't see it.
Right. Yeah. I can
It
relate.
changes you. But there's,
Mm.
a lot of people get freaked out by meditation, so you could just focus on breathing. The first time I ever did it, because I always said I couldn't meditate, you
Yeah.
breathe in through your nose, and, the person that taught me said when you breathe out, what it feels like on, your lip, and you just that's one way, just focusing on that. Another thing
Mm.
is,
It's a good idea.
it's pretty cool. Another thing
Mm.
is, if that doesn't work for you, you can start focusing on your toes and then
Mhm.
bring it up. Like all of a sudden, you become so aware of your toes and the tingling. It's almost like you can feel the blood rushing, and all it is focusing on it. And then you move it to different parts of your feet, and then up your body. That's the
Mm.
first time I meditated. Someone showed me both of those, which is really weird because I was at Jeremy's house this Friday night. He had a dinner party, and there was another medium there. And during
Mhm.
dinner, she goes, "Who's Hannah? Who's Hannah? Hannah." Um,
Mm.
and Andrea was known as, I believe, Psychic in the City on the radio in years past. And Jeremy Point, I went blank because my friend's been gone for a while. It was my girlfriend that I was so
Mm.
close to. She taught me so much. She was in her 20s, but she had a near death experience. So she really taught me a lot. Like, and I was just coming into my own. And in my head, you're blasphemy, because it was like, we are God. We have God inside of us. And it was just so foreign to me. But she had been on the other side. She was dead for quite a while, like where she shouldn't have come back. And she did come
Mhm.
back. But then, like, I don't know, a year and a half later, she permanently crossed over, whatever period of time, because I didn't know when
Mm.
she died the first time I met her after that. So she popped in that night at dinner, but she was the first person to teach me how to meditate. And I slipped right into it. I was always afraid to do it because the veil is very thin, obviously, right? When you meditate,
Mm.
I was always, when I was younger, afraid that spirits would step in. And the very first time I did it in my 20s, that's exactly what happened. So it kind of freaked me out. It was my grandmother. It wasn't bad, but it was just way too close for me. I was like, whoa, grandma, move back. Because it was
Mm.
almost like nauseating because it was just so big in my third eye. And I didn't do it for many, like,
Mhm.
God, from 20s to like 40
Mm.
because it weirded me out that much. And I think that's part of why people don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it does
Well,
make you be aware.
yeah, I think it's that. And I think another thing is I think people try too hard or try to make something of it that, make it too complicated,
I agree.
because I enjoy meditating. Yeah. But I remember there was a time when I was trying to get into meditation that I was like trying too hard or whatever. And then I realized, no, you just sit down and shut up, and be
Yeah.
still. And then you just enter meditation. But you know what I also have found helpful as well? To in learning to meditate is to do some guided meditations. Just listen to an audio, and then
You go deep.
before you know it, yeah, you go deep. So guided meditation is great, but then when you do that for a while, then you can just meditate without a guidance.
Hmm.
So yeah, I found that helpful.
I found that
Hey,
very helpful. I did that in person, like, in the
mm,
beginning, and
yeah.
loved it, but I was unaware. There was a lot I was unaware of that, you can get it from YouTube and stuff like that. There's a guy, like, we're
Mm,
talking about creating and manifesting, like, through these challenging times. I'm gonna give this guy a
mhm,
shout out. I don't know him personally, but he's very good. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I think I've even shared some of his things with you, but let me just go into my library. And it's
mhm.
funny because
Okay.
I had to actually stop listening to him because, what happened was he it would things would get really busy. You wanna
Mhm,
be working and stuff like that, but when I was consistently listening to this gentleman and going to sleep and it's funny. Alright, let me see how I can do this.
mhm.
It's rain hypnosis. Michael, I'm gonna write his name.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
rain hypnosis for attracting well,
Is that the one that you gave me?
I gave this to you a while ago. It's not the yellow one.
Oh, okay. So I
I
really
think
liked it.
she um, this one, the link is, purple, law of attraction.
I really liked that one you gave me.
Was it yellow though?
Not sure, but it was like
Was
a
it a
seven
woman?
hour long. So
Yeah,
yeah, a woman, 7 hours long. So you're supposed to listen to it when you sleep,
yeah.
but I found that for me to sleep, I have to have complete darkness and complete silence. I
Oh
can't
my
listen to
god,
anything.
me too.
I know. I cannot, no matter how soothing it is or whatever, I just can't. Anyway, so I just can't do it.
It's funny, I prefer to listen to that one, the 7-hour one, like, even if I don't listen to it the whole time,
Hmm.
I prefer it when I'm awake, but his
Yeah.
will I will fall asleep a lot of times, last night not, but I will fall asleep, but,
Hmm.
um, he wakes you up at the end, and I'm like, "Damn
Really?
it." You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah, right, bringing you out of it in. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, well, that
so
sucks.
it's actually, a problem for me.
Right.
Hold on, I'm spelling something wrong.
Okay.
I'm doing because this one is also excellent. So I
Hmm.
wanna add it. Law of attraction. Come on, Daniela. Thank goodness I didn't go into, like, a typing situation, for work.
Oh.
Okay, now her name is Jessica Heslop. Okay, but I tell you what, both of these, if I listen to them every single day on a consistent level, it definitely increases bookings. There's no
Yeah,
denying it.
that's the one. That's the one that you sent to me that I listened to that I really liked. I really liked it because and like the whole topic of this conversation was about what was it, creating the destiny, and like I found that because it's like in a meditation style, but more so than a meditation. It's just like basically a list of positive affirmations. But I just think they were really powerful positive affirmations, and definitely I can see how you could manifest by listening to those. You
Yeah,
know.
it's a very passive way to create your reality. There's
Mm,
many tools, like you and I have very different fields, but
yeah.
another one that helps me is having a bagua, a vision board, writing my intentions down. Um, hey, I don't know if
Yeah.
this is inappropriate. You
Yeah.
can shut me down if what I'm gonna say is like, "Oh, Daniela, not a good idea."
It might be
Um,
too late by then.
it
No, it's okay.
maybe.
Carry on. Yeah.
Um, there's this person on Facebook, right, that offers
Hmm.
free readings all the time,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "Ah, what the hell," right? And it's like, "Oh, private message me." I'm like, "Okay." And
Hmm.
now when I started doing it, I'm like, "This is why people dislike people in my field."
Hmm.
So, I messaged a person, I guess it was late last night, and then, when I woke up this morning, he responded, like, ask a question. So I did, and I thought I asked a question that I like people to make things flow. Yes or no. Give
Hmm.
me something where it could be a quick answer. If you want me to get more in depth, I can. But do you know what I mean? Am I gonna
Mm-hmm.
get married? Yes or no. Am I gonna have a baby? Yes or no. Like, if you need to know more, like, oh, okay, you got to start taking vitamins, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
I posed something that was yes or no, and he's like, so this free reading. He goes, I accept a $40 love donation, and
Yeah.
I said, okay, because I said, oh, I just thought you were gonna give me like a yes or no, and he's like, you asked for an in-depth question. So then I really broke it down to a yes or no. Like I changed my
Mm-hmm.
question to a very simple yes or no. And he
Mm.
wanted me to pick a card. Well, I can't pick a tarot card because I I know what they mean. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
If
I
they
get
were
you. So,
upside,
so let me clarify. You were on the receiving end of this service. You were
yeah.
okay. You like okay. I get you. Okay.
So he tells me to pick a card. I pick a card and I'm like, you know what? Never mind. It's okay. Thank you anyway. I appreciate it. And he's like, he was confused. And I said, I know what the cards mean. So
Mm.
I'm cheating. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair enough.
So
Mm-hmm.
then he's like, "Do you want me to change your deck?" And I'm like, "No, I want to not see the card because it has
Yeah.
to be, at least I would have some belief that maybe an answer is accurate because if they're upside down 1, 2, or 3, that would be, you know what I mean, something that I
Mm.
could believe. But if I know if you put money down, a dollar, $5 and $10, and it's like, okay, I want to be wealthy. I'm going to pick the $10. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm.
going to go for
Mm.
what I know is good. So I knew it
Yeah.
was useless. So then,
Mm.
oh my God, Jamie. So
Mm-hmm.
he gives me a response, right? I was like, oh, this is why people really don't like people like me. It was about a
Yeah.
curse.
Right.
So the reason he, puts out I'm very lovely and all that kind of stuff, but witchcraft was performed on me and it's a bad luck spell and it's affecting my whole life, including my love life and da da da. So I wrote, um, thank you very much. Like,
Wow.
like whatever. And then what he was trying to get me to do, and this I've talked to people that have lost their businesses, that have lost their homes because they sucker you in. I can reverse the curse. And
Yeah,
he
for money.
yeah, so he was telling
Mm.
me before my dreams could come true, I needed to be cleansed, right? Because he had no idea who I was. And
Mm.
then he goes, "You know how to remove the spell." But he didn't use any punctuation, so I'm assuming that's a question mark. Do you know what I mean? Because he
Mm.
wanted to
Mm.
remove the spell from me. And
Wow.
I've helped people that have gone to these charlatans, and I'm like, I'm not saying that bad things can happen when somebody really focuses on you and they're sending you like they hate your guts. Like I've had to block people that are doing that, but we are
Mm.
more powerful. Let more light in, and that stuff is not going to impact you. It's kind of like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
So, but I have spoken to people that have lost like $100,000 because they keep suckering you in. But I was just like, this guy's on Facebook all the time, and I'm like, wow, it
Yeah, that's
really is a
shocking.
shame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is disgusting.
So
Yeah,
you're fishing out there. I'll give you a free reading, and it automatically turned to $40, and then it would have been, I'm sure, a lot of money to remove the
thousands.
curse, right? Because
Oh
curses are,
yeah, yeah, because it's a numbers game. If you get people really scared,
yeah.
and then
But I
yeah,
mean,
so I
that's
can
what we're
see how it
talking about
works for
with
them. But
news, right?
sorry.
Scare. The news is the
Mm,
same way, doom and gloom. Like they want us to be in fear because then we're easily manipulated when we're so afraid. And
mm,
even with all this stuff going on, you were talking about something with the war and everything, but it's like people
mm,
are so afraid,
mm.
but really, death is a release. It's not the worst
Yeah,
thing that can happen to you. I know people think it is. Let me see
yeah.
what Miss Imelda is saying.
Hmm.
I think the energy might be great for us to talk about our mutual friend, Jessica Sanchez. She left us suddenly, and I think of her often. Anything you want to be able to say about her? Okay, Jamie, you work very closely with her.
Oh yeah, with Jessica. Yeah,
Mhm.
I did. I know, and it was awful tragedy. She was a lovely lady, such a so spiritual, great teacher. She had great plans and she had great ambition, and that's why it was such a shock that she passed. She just passed very quickly. She got ill. She got COVID, and this she got COVID even before the vaccines were developed. You know, it's very early on in the pandemic, wasn't it, Imelda? And then she went into hospital, and she was starting to get better, and then she died. And it was just awful. And the biggest shock was that she had so many plans. You know, she talked about things that she was going to do in the future, and then of course then she wasn't here. But yeah, she was a wonderful person. And you know what? I remember that short. I'm. This was very profound experience. And hang on one second. It is okay. Okay. Well, yeah. I remember I was meditating on a riverside, um, in the country, like about 2 days after she passed. And you know how, like, you know, people would say that animals would manifest as a sign
Hmm.
that, you know, of the, you know, to give you like confirmation or
Hmm.
reassurance of people that pass on. And I remember opening my eyes, there's this dragonfly in my face. And
That's a really
yeah,
strong one.
I know. I was like, and you never saw dragonflies around there. And it was right in my face, hovering right in my face. And I was like, it startled me at first, but I thought, oh, that's definitely her. Yeah, yeah. You know, I'm not one to easily attribute like random events to be like have spiritual significance. I don't easily like make that connection, but sometimes they're so powerful and so profound that there's just no question. And that was one of those occasions. Yeah.
I felt her come visit me after she died. I felt really bad because she was so young, but
Mm-hmm.
um, and I just felt such a peace about her. But she did
Mm.
come through another medium that's friends with them, like in that circle,
Mm-hmm.
and she told him, like through him, I guess he was channeling, that she left because she felt she was able to do more good on the other side than here.
Mm.
You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
just felt she could get more done.
Yeah.
I wanted to, if you don't mind, I want to switch gears because you reminded me when you said that.
Oh yeah.
After being told that I was cursed today,
Oh
and
yeah.
I went out into the balcony. That was before I went out into the balcony because I was thinking, yeah, okay, I create my own destiny. You know what I mean? So that's a powerful move. When I went out on my
Mm.
balcony, I was meditating, and um, I don't know if my eyes were closed and I opened them or I staring a certain way, but all of a sudden, to me, it looked like a really large. Oh, I was thinking about my friend that showed up at the dinner party. I was meditating and thinking about that friend. Hummingbirds
Mm-hmm.
are also a messenger. And I opened my
Mm.
eyes, and remember, I brought all my plants inside, so I don't have any on the balcony, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there was a
Mm-hmm.
hummingbird on my balcony with me, and it's not that big. Like the balcony's not that big. I didn't know what it was. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was a big bug, and I freaked. Like I'm sitting there, like, oh my gosh, like because it was close and it was staying right by me, and I was
Mm. Wow.
frightened.
Oh
So
yeah,
then,
it can be startling. Yeah.
yeah, right. And then
Mm-hmm.
it finally left. There was no reason for it to be by me, and then it flew to the next balcony that had flowers. So I was able to see it was a hummingbird. Like I kind of figured out as it was flying away, like I think that's a hummingbird. And then because it kept staying, I was able to
Mm-hmm.
clearly see it was a hummingbird. Within 5 to 10 minutes, I saw a hummingbird, dragonfly, and a butterfly. All of
Mm-hmm.
those are like a spirit saying hello. Like it could be messenger. Like I've never seen a hummingbird in this area. I've only seen that would be my third in my entire life.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that was a rare event. I and it's also to me because I looked it up immediately. It's a very positive. It's about having more joy and being playful and all this. It was a very very good message. So when you do see stuff like that, it is I
Mm-hmm.
feel it's universe's way of communicating. So it's a great idea to like look it up. Like, and if you do feel like, because I'm like, why did that happen? I'm like, I was just thinking about Hannah. So I think it's a
Mm.
good idea. Like, I know you had an experience one time with your nan.
Oh yeah, I
You
did.
you want to share that?
Mm. Oh yeah, my grandma. Yeah, yeah. It was. It might not sound like much to anyone else, but it was very powerful to me. So, like magpies. Like you get magpies in
I
Florida,
think
right?
so.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know.
Let me
Well,
look it up for
see,
you.
that's the thing. You tell a story, and it might not be relatable all over the
But
world.
it's a bird.
But yeah, it's a bird. But okay, so a bird that we have around here now. We've got rhymes, and I remember these rhymes from when I was a young child. And it's like one for sorrow, two for joy, three for a girl, four for a boy,
I remember
right?
that.
And yeah, do you remember that? Did you
Oh my
get? Did
God,
you
they're
say that?
beautiful. Yeah, my mom
Oh,
used to
okay.
say.
Oh,
They're
you just looked them up,
stunning.
black and white. Hmm. Yeah. Well, they're okay. You get them a
Well,
lot.
some of
They're a
our
lot.
well, I'm trying to see. Some of these are blue. I looked up magpie. The ones
Hmm.
on the bottom are black and white, but some of them are blue. So
Yeah.
by you, they're just black and white.
They're black and white. That's correct. Yeah. So anyway, every time I see a magpie or two or three or four, right, I would say I go through that rhyme in my head. One for sorrow, two for joy. And if I saw one, I'd be like, shit, one for sorrow. Oh, I better find another one. I'd be like panicking, looking up. Oh, good, two for joy. But which is silly because, like, that's silly. But it's a little game, isn't it, in your head? You're just trying to amuse yourself. And but the reason I'm explaining this is because my entire life, right, my entire life, I would only see two or three magpies in a flock, right? Because you get so far and then you run out of like in the rhyme, right? But anyway, you would never see more than two or three, maybe four, maybe five would be unprecedented, right? I can't remember any time I saw five. Well, I shit you not, what I'm about to tell you, it's really far fetched, right? So there's this one time, and my grandma had passed, and I was thinking about her whilst I was driving in my car, right? And not only was I thinking about her, but because I was in the privacy of my own car and there was no one around to hear, I started to talk to my grandma. Yeah, because like I miss her, and like we were very close when she was alive, and like yeah, I talk to the, I do talk to the dead, especially if like I'm in a private place and the time is right. And I was chatting to my grandma, and I remember I was saying to her, about the good times that we had, and and do you remember this? Do you remember that? Well, anyway, all of a sudden, now I was driving in the countryside, right? So there's no witnesses. I can't prove that this happened. It's like if you go and see a UFO and then you don't have your mobile phone on you to photograph it, you know what I mean? Who's going to believe you? Well, um, I remember um, all of a sudden an enormous flock of magpies. I mean, like we're talking about a crazy number. I shit you not, there was hundreds of them, right? I'm not exaggerating. There was hundreds of them. I've never ever seen more than three or four in a flock, and there was hundreds of these magpies that descended in front of the car. You know, like flying
Hundreds?
really low, flying right across the car. Sorry.
Did you say hundreds?
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, like I cannot prove it, but it happened. God is my witness.
That must have blew your
Hundreds and
mind.
hundreds of them. Sorry.
That must have blew your mind.
It blew my mind, yeah. But do you know what? Because I'm fairly left brained. I'm fairly like cognitive, rational, etc. Like if there needs to be a sign in the spirit world of something, it needs to be very um big and profound, right? I'm
Oh yeah.
not saying, I mean, yes, of course, I'm spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person, but also I have that like left brain, right brain balance. I think where I have the right healthy amount of skepticism and also, you know what I mean. So like. It would take like if I saw something that could be attributed to a coincidence, then I wouldn't necessarily jump to the conclusion that it has a spiritual significance. But like, so it required something huge for me to be convinced that this was my grandma's doing, and that it worked. I mean, it was huge. Yeah, it was the same with the dragonfly in front of my face. Yeah, so
See, I just think it's funny because the hummingbird stand like staying on my balcony. They don't normally do that, and especially because there were no plants. Like, there's cement and metal,
Mm.
that was on my balcony, and it was hanging out with me, and
Hmm.
it was at the exact moment that I'm thinking of my deceased friend. That was pretty cool. What?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So Melda was saying that
I know.
the book was released. I know, I know. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
next week we'll be doing the Q&A again.
Yeah.
Are you up
Okay.
for it?
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I just was
Go for it.
tired tonight. It was a very
Hmm.
stressful day.
Sure.
I really was not in the right frame of mind
Hmm.
for it. I
Yeah.
thought a nice chat with you would be fun.
Hmm.
So I do
Yeah.
appreciate your time. Are
Hmm.
you look wide awake? Are you going to be able to go to sleep?
Oh yeah. I yeah. I will.
Okay, because what
I'll,
time is it now for you?
it's 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, because they just changed our clocks. I thought it was going to be midnight, so it's 11 for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's 11. Yeah. Because there's a period of time where we're like closer in time, but then our clocks will also go back. Is it fall back, spring forward? What month are we in? March.
March.
Okay, so we're going into spring. Yeah, so our clocks will go forward. Yeah, soon. But
Okay, so would
and
next
then we'll be back to normal. Yeah.
will next
Sorry.
week at 7 be okay then? Because then it will just, or is that too late for
Mhm.
you?
Yeah, it should be all right.
All right, we'll see how you're feeling. So thank
Yeah.
you for everyone that popped in or that will see this in the future. I appreciate it.
Hmm.
Um, maybe next time we'll talk about just like mediumship experiences, that we both had and stuff like that growing up, you know. Because
Right.
didn't you say that you've lived in spooky places?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a couple. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we got in the UK, we've got very old buildings. I lived in
Yeah.
a couple of like very old houses that are older than your country. You know, not your physical not your physical country, but your country is, like America's what, like just about 200 years old, right? From
A
when
little
it was
older, but yes.
colonized. A little older, yeah. Okay, so
Yeah,
sorry,
but
yeah,
you're right.
from the colonized. Yeah, well, I grew up in farmhouses that were like 14th century and things.
Are you serious?
But yeah, seriously, and like they literally had straw in the walls, right? So
That is wild.
I know, I know.
Oh, we could probably, like, between the two of us, turn that into more than one session. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But that is fascinating because when I went to Europe, that's one of the things that I loved. Like the castles are so old, the buildings are so old. Like even though I normally don't like that stuff, the history there is amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is a lot of energy in old buildings. But the
I
weird
know.
thing is, it's also related to the land because we can have a new structure here. I've lived in brand spanking new homes, and it's still
Hmm.
a lot of paranormal activity because they may be attracted to the land. Maybe there was when the ground gets disturbed, it's kind of like a bee's nest type of situation. So it
Hmm.
stirs up the spirits. But I also think when you have a lot of people that in a home, when I mean a lot, it could be a family, and it attracts that. It's like a magnet. So like my ex-husband had his own abilities. My kids are psychic and medium. So of course it was very a lot of paranormal activity. But even before it's just been my whole life. Like even before I met
Hmm.
all them. So I think
Hmm.
that might be a fun discussion for the next time we do this. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love.
And you love what?
No, I love paranormal and shit. Yeah, I do.
I'm wondering,
Yeah.
because you and I both also have that scientific part of our brains. If we
Hmm.
should switch something up for Wednesday, we were going to do like this on Wednesday. Maybe we could do the Q&A on Wednesday just to have fun, like just see what works. I think 6 o'clock here might have been a bit
Hmm.
too early because it was such a beautiful day after a really horrendous weekend.
Right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm up for anything.
Okay.
I just look. Do you know what? It must be the lighting, but I look really, really pale
You
on
do.
camera.
I'm thinking,
I know
man,
it's got to be
why
that.
am
I'm
I
not.
like this?
Yeah, anyone who's watching, I don't usually look like this. I don't know. It's the light, I'm sure.
I don't know because you got you looking like that, and then I'm pretty tan
Yeah.
because I
Wow.
just got cleared.
It's
I
the
do not have
contrast.
skin cancer. And the
Mhm.
doctor walks in and goes, "Oh, you really love the sun, huh? You're a real sunbather." And I'm like, "Actually, I'm not. I don't go by the
Mhm.
pool and like lay there. I don't lay
Mhm.
on the beach. I always cover up. It's because I
Mhm.
walk every day, or I try my best to walk every day. So, because I'm
Yeah,
looking at you going, damn, I am kind of tan. Like, because
I
I
know.
grew up looking as pale as you look. That was my norm.
Was it? Oh my.
Yeah.
But I'm not as pale as I look right now. This is like, I don't know, it's the way I'm sat, the position I'm sat or something. But
Maybe
you look so
also you're
tan
wearing
because you live
black.
in Florida. Sorry?
Is it because
Oh
you're
yeah,
wearing
yeah. Could be. Could be. Yeah.
I don't know. I was just like,
I'll
"Wow,
put
he's pretty
I'll
white.
put
You
on
gotta
my
get some sunshine."
I know I'll I'll
Vitamin
put
D, my
on
friend.
I'll put on my
Another wrote pale Englishman.
I know,
Yes,
I
he
know.
is. So, yeah, you have to take a trip to Florida because we gotta get some vitamin D in you, man.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'd love
Okay.
that. I'll
So,
get
are we
some.
good to wrap it up? Thank you, Miss Imelda, for
Yeah,
being on with us.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, until Wednesday night, I guess, right? We'll do
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Alright.
All right
Thank
then.
you,
That's
everyone.
good. That's good. All right, take care.
Wait, Jamie, you gotta do the kiss.
Oh yeah. All right.
Or you can
Oh
just
yeah.
kiss the royal
Uh,
we.
all right. Okay. Well,
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone. Bye bye.
cheerio.